Thank you for joining this lesson. We're going to discuss statistics. In a mathematics test, 48 students scored the following marks. So marks have been listed here. We are told in part A, using a class width of 10 and starting with the smallest mark recorded, make a frequency distribution table for the data. Therefore, for us to make a frequency distribution table for the data, I need to come up with the three sensitive columns here. Three sensitive columns. Even if we will extend the table, I'll begin with classes. Then I have a tallying column. Then the frequency now, after tallying, the frequency will be stated here. So we can first of all come up with classes. Let me start by coming up with classes. All right, we are told we are using class widths of 10 and we start with the least mark recorded. When I observe these marks, the least mark recorded is proving to be 40. Therefore, 40 is the least mark recorded. So when I will start with the class, I'll begin from 40 to stick to the instructions here, whereby we are told a class width of 10. Then I should go up to 49 and including. That means the class width here is of 10 because the upper limit is 49.5 and the lower limit is 39.5. The difference is 10. Therefore, that is a class width of 10. That means now we can go to the next class, which is going to be 50 to 59. The next class is going to be from 60 to 69. The next is going to be from 70 to 79. Then the next is going to be from 80 to 89. Then we are also having from 90 to 99. I don't think that we have a mark that goes beyond there when we look at the marks scored in the mathematics test. Therefore, I will tally here. Then I come up with the frequency. I can call it F. The frequency F there. Therefore, I'll begin with each score and the class it belongs. So 89 lies here. 70, 88, 87, 62, 74. Then the next is 75. It's going to be here. 86 here. 75 here. 84. They become 5 now. 86. 56. 56 again. 55. 96. That one goes to the last class. 58. 56 becomes the fifth. 60. 90. 87. 84. 43. 64. 80. 68. 75. Become 5. 71. 65. 80, 84, 74, 83, 71, 70, 73, 89, 89 should lie here, 85 should lie here, 70, 90, 98, 69, 63, 69 again, 90, 74, 93, 59, 40. Yes, so that is now the tallying. I can go to the next bit of now knowing the frequencies. So this is 2, this is going to be 6, these are 5 and 3, 8, these are 5, 5 and 2, so 12, these are 5, 5 and 4, so 10 plus 4, 14, this is a 5 plus 1, 6. We can confirm the frequencies by calculating the frequency, the cumulative frequency column, whereby we begin with the first one, 2. The second one is going to be 2 plus 6, 8 plus 8, 16 plus 12, we get 28. 28 plus 14, we get 42. 42 plus 6, we get 48. Remember, we had been told that these are marks for 48 students. 48 students. Therefore, that is how the distribution is going to be. So we have the total frequencies. Now, the next thing we've been told to do is to state the model frequency. Model frequency is the highest frequency in the given data. That is going to be 14. The model frequency is going to be the highest frequency, and for our data it's going to be 14. Then the next, using the frequency distribution table in A above, calculate part 1, the mean mark. For us to calculate mean, we need the summations of f of x, then we divide by the summations of f. Therefore, we can calculate x, which is the midpoint of each class. Then we multiply each midpoint with the frequency. So we can get midpoint x for every class. Midpoint x for every class. So that at the same time, I obtain what we call frequency times each midpoint. Therefore, 40 and 49, then I divide by 2. This gives me 44.5. Now I have to multiply this with a frequency of 2. This gives me 89. Then the next is 50 and 59. This will give us 54.5. Then I multiply with a frequency of 6. 54.5 and a frequency of 6. This gives me 327. The next is going to be 60 and 69. That will give us 64.5. Then I multiply 64.5 by a frequency of 8 times 8. This is going to give us, remember, it's 64.5 times 8, 516. The next is going to be 70 and 79. That will give us 74.5. 74.5 times a frequency of 12. This is going to give us 894. The next is going to be 80, 89. The average will be 84.5 times a frequency of 14. Frequency of 14. This is going to be 1183. 1183. And finally, we have 90 and 99. This will be 94.5 as the midpoint. So that 94.5 is multiplied with 6, or by 6. This is going to be 567. 567. So now we can get the summation of f of x. Summation of f of x. This is going to be 89 plus 327 plus 516 plus 894 plus 1183 plus 567. This is going to be 3576. 3576. We can confirm that value. 89 plus 327 plus 516 plus 894 plus 1183 plus 567. This is going to be 3576. Therefore, 3576 divided by a frequency of 48. This is going to be 74.5 exactly. 74.5. So that is going to be the median mark. The next is we are told to find the median mark. To find the median mark, let me plug the page so that I have it here. This is the table whereby we want to calculate the median mark. We should take 48 out of 2. This gives us a 24. Therefore, when we follow the cumulative frequencies, the class that will contain 24, that is the class that will be called the median class. Therefore, we got cumulative frequencies here: 2, 8, 16. So far we don't have 24, but in this class now, this is where the 24th student is contained. The class 70 to 79. The class 70 to 79. So this becomes our median class. This is now the median class 70. This becomes our median class. Now with the median class, we can get the median, whereby, let me bring the data here, whereby we need lower class boundary of the median class plus n out of 2 minus cumulative frequency just before the median class, divide by frequency of the median class, then this part is multiplied with the class width. So we're going to have lower class boundary of the median class, the class containing n over 2, that is 70 to 79. So 69.5 is the lower boundary. 69.5. Then I'm going to add n over 2 is 24 minus cumulative frequency just before the median class. Cumulative frequency just before, which is 16. Just before, which is 16. Divide by frequency of the median class. Now that this is the median class, the frequency is 12. Frequency is 12 times class width, which is 10. So now I'm going to have a 69.5, and I add 24 minus 16. This one should be divided by 12, then multiplied by 10. I'm getting 6.667 to 4SF. So when we add 69.5, this is going to give us 76 0.166. So we can have 1 and the recurring 6 to 4SF, or to 2 decimal places. Yeah, we're going to have it as 17. These are the marks now, and that is the median. And finally, we are told on the grid provided, draw a frequency polygon to represent the above data. Frequency polygon. We should know that for a frequency polygon, we usually plot what we call frequencies against midpoints. F against X. So we're going to plot F against X. F against X. So frequencies are going to be plotted here, and midpoints are going to be plotted there. Alternatively, we can just come up with what we call histograms. Then the midpoints of the histograms are going to be the midpoints of the classes. For example, from 39.5, which is our list in this case, when we use the first one is 39.5, then the next will be 49.5, this is a 59.5, 69.5, 79.5, 89.5, and 99.5. These are the upper boundaries. Then we plot them now against the frequencies, which are from 2 all the way to 14. So we can use the intervals of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, like that. Therefore, in the first class, we have a frequency of 2. A frequency of 2. The next class, a frequency of 6. Remember, the classes have equal intervals, so the length of the classes are going to be the same. The next is a frequency of 8. A frequency of 8. The next is going to be a frequency of 12. Frequency of 12. Then we're going to have 14. A frequency of 14. And finally, a frequency of 6. A frequency of 6. Yes, frequency of 6. Therefore, these are what we call the bars, which are called histograms. They are representing the data. And now at the mid of each bar is the midpoint of the class. For example, 39.5 and 49.5, when you add and you divide by 2, you are going to get 44.5. So that means this is the midpoint exactly at the center. That will be the midpoint. Even for this one, this is going to be the midpoint, the midpoint, the midpoint, the midpoint. So those are the midpoints. The top middle part of each bar will be the midpoint of each class. And therefore, when you connect the midpoints, you will have plotted frequency against midpoint, midpoint X. And that will give us what we call a frequency polygon. So the first midpoint is here, and the next one using a very straight line. Then from that one to the next one, from that one to the next one, from this one to the next one, then from this one to the last one. Yes, to the last one, like that. Now you don't leave it hanging like that. The first midpoint is anchored at the first lower boundary, so this one will be brought here. Then the last one should also be dropped to the last class boundary here. So this is what we call a frequency polygon. It represents the data above. Thank you for following. Subscribe and share.